Welcome back. You're still on to Wake Up Nigeria, and it's time for some relationship talk.
Yes, sir.
And of course, every relationship has its ups and downs, highs and lows. But one key thing is the right connection between both parties. We are joined by healthy relationship advocate, relationship expert, and life coach, Abisola Buhari, and she'll be talking to us about the benefits of spousal friendship. Hello, Ms. Abisola.
Good morning.
Hello, good morning. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us. How are you this morning?
I'm fine, thank you.
All right, so let's jump straight into it. Should our spouses first be our friends? Very simple question. Is it a yes or no answer, though?
Sorry, to add to that.
Absolutely, yes.
Sorry,
Absolutely
Ms.
yes,
Abisola.
she says.
Yes, she says yes. But to add to that, there is a school of thought that some therapists will advise that it's not a good idea for you to be best friends with your spouse. Is that true?
I want to disagree with that
Okay.
because there are much benefits in being best friend with your spouse than not being best friend with him or her.
Okay.
That doesn't mean you shouldn't have other friendship. You know, like when we're talking about best friend, like I'm talking about not the BFF on the gram, like the real thing that between you and your spouse behind closed doors, you can just bear it all without being judged. Somebody that is going to help you fulfill your purpose, somebody that is going to trust you, somebody that is going to be there for you. And I feel like with this, there are so many benefits. There are so many benefits in being friends with your spouse, best friends, not just being friends.
Okay, so in that case, can we outline those
Or
benefits?
best friends.
Can we outline
Okay,
those benefits?
First thing is, all right. I said first thing first, it helps eradicate assumptions. When you are best friend with your spouse, it helps you eradicate assumptions. And going by what is happening in relationships and marriage, you know, assumptions lead to misconceptions. And with misconceptions, you jump into unnecessary conclusion, and that breeds up conflict in that relationship. But when you're best friend, you don't even have to assume, because you are there to share everything with one another. And when we're talking about eradicating assumption, that is, there is effective communication. Effective communication. You get to communicate all times. And
Okay.
mind you,
Ms. Abisola, sorry to interrupt there. Okay, sharing everything, how much of everything should you tell your spouse?
how much of everything?
Yes.
It depends on you. Like, if you want to build trust, then you don't have to hold back. You don't have to hold back. Just many of us, majority of us, do not share our long-time goals, our dreams, our life dreams with our partner during courtship. And some people share, but they get to pivot along the line. And this is why we have issues when you see wives say their husband is not supporting their dreams, they are not supporting their choice of career. But being friends with each other will help you manage this, because everybody has a purpose in life. Everybody has a purpose in life, and your spouse, your spouse owes you a duty to help you fulfill that purpose. So now tell me, if you are holding back, maybe because you want to get a degree, you want to get a certification, but you feel like you should tell your spouse, he might not want to support you, she might not buy into it. So you have to go and share that dream with another person. It's fine. You can have an accountability partner beside your spouse. But holding back on things, I don't support that, because there are a lot of benefits.
I was going to jump in here to say, you know, there are a lot of friendships that actually turn sour. So as young people, we build friendships with people, and sometimes those friends fall by the side. You know, you sort of outgrow some friendships. And there are some people who decide along the line that, you know, it's not really their friend that they should marry, and they end up leaving a long-term friendship to start a marriage with someone completely different. For instance, maybe if you've been friends with someone for like 2 years, 3 years, and then it's time to get married, then you decide, you know, this is a friend, only a friend. What advice would you give to someone who's in that position right now?
Like, it's fine. It's fine to leave that person and move on. And this is just the best decision. When you realize that this person is better off as a friend than a lifetime partner, then you don't have to move on with that person. And how can you get to know about this? That is when you ask the ideal questions before saying I do. A lot of us just jump into, yeah, I do. We describe our ideal man as tall, huge, broad shoulders, dark, blah, 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 God-fearing, and all that. But we don't ask some personal questions when we look into the future. Like I, for instance, my dream was to be a lawyer, practice law for a while, and become a judge and retired and live a very private life. But then I got into beautypreneur, then I got into some other business, then land in life coaching and relationship, what have you. It's basically because I have shared, I'm a best friend, I'm a friend to my husband. That is when this call came, he was able to understand with me. And to start with, my husband was my friend. He was my friend for like 3 years before we started dating. So if at that point I realized that he was better off as a friend, I'll leave him in that friend zone and move on with another person. Because mental health, you have to put a lot of things into consideration. If I see anybody that tells me they don't want to go on with their partner, basically because they are better off as friends, I give kudos to them because it's a very hard decision to make.
Okay, Abisola, well, this conversation is definitely not going to end here. True. Because there are some critical questions that I'd like to really ask when it comes to being able to balance being a partner and being a friend. And I'm sure we'll continue this conversation next week. Because you know what, before we leave this particular segment, just tell us one more benefit of being friends with your spouse. Just one more. Just drop it. Yes, just drop it.
One benefit is your spouse help you fulfill your purpose in life.
All right, great.
And to me, that's profound.
All right, great. We'll definitely continue this conversation next week. Thank you so much, Ms. Abisola, for this conversation. And
so I would like to, mention, the fact that there are different types of friendships. And there are some friendships that people end up saying, lead to disrespect because the person knows a bit too much about you. And I was going to go there with her as well.
Yeah. Like I said, I mean, there's so much, this spousal friendship thing. Fingers crossed, man. Fingers crossed.